Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, the topic of our today's discussion is hepatitis B. We will discuss the problem statement of hepatitis B, its epidemiological determinants, diagnosis of hepatitis B, and the preventive and control measures of hepatitis B. In the end of this lecture, we will also briefly describe the hepatitis C virus too. Dear students, hepatitis B is endemic throughout the world. Hepatitis B infection is basically a global health problem, with 66% of the world population is living in areas where there are high levels of infection. According to an estimate, more than 2 billion people worldwide they have evidence of either past infection or current infection, and 350 million they are chronic carriers of hepatitis B virus. And hepatitis B causes an estimated 7,80,000 deaths from cirrhosis of liver and hepatocellular carcinoma. Prevalence of infection varies from one region to another region and from country to country, and depends upon a complex mix of behavioral, environmental, and host factors. Generally, hepatitis B infection is lost in areas with high standards of living. This map is showing you the geographic distribution of chronic hepatitis B virus infection. Now, based on the different hepatitis B surface antigen carrier rates, the countries they can be divided into three categories: high endemicity, intermediate endemicity, and low endemicity. Countries in which Hep B surface antigen carrier rate is more than 8%, they are regarded as high endemic countries for hepatitis B surface antigen. Countries in which the Hep B surface antigen carrier rate is 2 to 8%, they are regarded as intermediate endemic countries, and in countries where there is less than 2% Hep B surface antigen carrier rate, they are regarded as low endemic countries. Pakistan is included in the category of intermediate endemic country. Now we will discuss the epidemiological determinants of hepatitis B infection. First of all, we will discuss the agent factors. The agent of hepatitis B infection is hepatitis B virus. Hepatitis B virus is basically a 42 nanometer double-shelled DNA complex virus, and it is originally known as the Dane particle. It replicates in the liver cells. The reservoir of infection, basically man is the only reservoir of infection which can spread the infection to other people. The reservoir of infection can be either cases or the carriers. In Hep B infection, chronic carrier state occurs, and the persistent carrier state is labeled because of the presence of Hep B surface antigen for more than 6 months. If Hep B surface antigen is present in the blood for more than 6 months, then the carrier is labeled as persistent carrier. Infective material is mainly the blood, but semen, saliva, and vaginal secretions of the infected person they act as a source of infection too. This virus is able to survive for at least 7 days on the environmental surfaces. The period of communicability varies. The period of communicability basically ranges from several months to years until the disappearance of Hep B surface antigen and the appearance of surface antibody. In case of host factors, both sexes and people of all age groups they are susceptible to hepatitis B infection. However, the development of chronic hepatitis B infection is inversely related to age, and it occurs in approximately 80 to 90% of persons infected perinatally, in 30% of the infected in early childhood, that is in people less than 6 years of age, and in 5% infected after the age of 6 years. There are few population groups which are at high risk of acquiring the hepatitis B infection. For example, the annual incidence of hepatitis B infection in surgeons is estimated to be 50 times greater than that in general population, and even it is more than twice that of the other physicians. There are few other high-risk groups. These include recipients of blood transfusion, healthcare and laboratory personnel, homosexuals, prostitutes, percutaneous drug abusers, infants of Hep B virus carrier mothers, recipients of solid organ transplants, and patients who are immunocompromised, patients who may be suffering from HIV/AIDS or any other immunocompromised disease. These are the population groups which are at high risk of suffering from hepatitis B infection. Generally, the countries and areas where there is low standard of living, there are high rates of hepatitis B infection and vice versa. There are different modes of transmission of hepatitis B infection, although hepatitis B is an essentially a blood-borne infection. The parenteral route includes transfusion of infected blood or blood products, dialysis, contaminated needles and syringes. During dental procedures, a person might get infected with hepatitis B, traditional tattooing, and ear and nose piercing, and circumcision. The percutaneous route of transmission include using the shared razors and toothbrushes. Other modes of transmission include perinatal transmission, that is from infected mother to the fetus. The spread of infection from Hep B virus carrier mother to the babies is an important factor for the high prevalence of Hep B infection in few countries, especially in China and Southeast Asian countries. Sexual transmission is also an important route, particularly among the male homosexuals. The role of arthropods is not yet clear. However, there is another route of transmission which is known as the horizontal transmission. In it, the transmission of disease occurs from child to child and mainly through physical contact between the children with their skin lesions such as scabies or impetigo. Incubation period varies between 30 days to 180 days. The lower doses of the virus often result in longer incubation period. However, the average incubation period is about 75 days. This table is showing you the concentration of hepatitis B virus in various body fluids. In blood, serum, and wound exudates, the concentration of hepatitis B virus is high. In case of semen, vaginal fluid, and saliva, the concentration of hepatitis B virus is at moderate levels. And in urine, feces, sweat, tears, and breast milk, either hepatitis B virus is very low or it is not detectable. A number of serological tests they are used for the diagnosis of acute and chronic hepatitis B infection. Each of these serological tests they have their own interpretation. For example, the appearance of Hep B surface antigen is used as a general marker of infection. Hep B surface antibody is used to document recovery and or immunity to hepatitis B virus infection. Anti-Hep B C IgM indicates marker of acute infection. Anti-Hep B C IgG it indicates the past or chronic infection. Hep B E antigen indicates the active replication of the virus and therefore infectiveness. Anti-Hep B E it indicates that a virus is no longer replicating. However, the patient can still be positive for Hep B surface antigen. Hep B virus DNA it indicates the active replication of the virus and it is more accurate than Hep B E antigen. And Hep B virus DNA, it is mainly used for monitoring the response to therapy. A number of measures can be adopted for the prevention and control of hepatitis B virus infection. These are good personal hygiene. We should not share razors and toothbrushes with our colleagues. Care for blood handling. Medical persons should avoid the contact with infected blood, especially avoid the accidents as needle punctures. All the blood donors, they should be screened for Hep B virus infection, and those positive for Australia antigen, that is Hep B surface antigen, they should be rejected and their blood should not be accepted for donation. Voluntary blood donation should be encouraged. Health personnel, they should be alerted to the importance of adequate sterilization of all the instruments and to the practice of simple hygienic measures. The carriers, they should be told not to share razors or toothbrushes, and they should use barrier method of contraception, and they also should not donate their blood too. For active immunization against hepatitis B infection, there are two types of vaccines available. That is, one is plasma derived and the other is recombinant DNA vaccine. In case of plasma derived vaccine, the first dose should be given on a designated date. The second dose should be given 1 month later after the first dose, and the third dose should be given after 6 months from the first dose, and the dose is 1 ml. Children under 10 years of age, they have half the dose, and the booster is given after 5 years. Both pre and post exposure administration of this vaccine is recommended. The second vaccine type is recombinant DNA vaccine. It has gradually replaced the plasma-derived hepatitis B vaccine. The active substance in recombinant hepatitis B vaccine is Hep B surface antigen. In EPI schedule, hepatitis B vaccine is given in the pentavalent vaccination at the age of 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks of age. For passive immunization, hepatitis B immunoglobulin is recommended. It is recommended for the immediate protection of doctors, nurses, lab workers, infected infants, and sexual contacts of acute hepatitis B. Hep B immunoglobulin should be given as soon as possible after an accidental inoculation, ideally within 6 hours and preferably no later than 48 hours. The dose is 0.05 to 0.07 ml per kg body weight, and the two doses should be given 30 days apart. Combined passive and active immunization, that is simultaneous administration of both the vaccine and hepatitis B immunoglobulin, can be given. This procedure is ideal for the prophylaxis of persons which are accidentally exposed to blood known to contain hepatitis B virus, and for the prevention of carrier state in the newborn babies of carrier mothers. Hep B immunoglobulin in the dose of 0.05 to 0.07 ml per kg body weight should be given as soon as possible, and Hep B recombinant DNA vaccine in the dose of 1 ml should be given intramuscularly within 7 days of exposure, and second and third doses should be given after 1 month and 6 months later respectively after the first dose. In this way, efficacy is increased than the hepatitis B immunoglobulin used alone. Dear students, this table is showing you a brief summary of hepatitis viruses, that is hepatitis A, B, C, D and E. In case of hepatitis A, the source of infection is feces, mode of transmission is fecal-oral route, there is no carrier state, and prevention is pre and post exposure immunization. In case of hepatitis B, source of virus is blood and blood derived fluids, Route of transmission is parenteral. Chronic infection is there, and the prevention is pre and post exposure immunization. In case of hepatitis C, source of virus is blood and blood derived body fluids. Route of transmission is percutaneous and permucosal. Chronic carrier state is there in case of hepatitis C virus. There is no immunization in case of hepatitis C. So blood donor screening is very important and the risk behavior modification needs to be done. In case of hepatitis D, source of virus is blood and blood derived body fluids. Route of transmission is percutaneous permucosal. Chronicity is there in case of hepatitis D virus. Pre and post exposure immunization needs to be done and risk behavior modification. Hepatitis E virus is found in feces, spreads via fecal-oral route. There is no chronicity in case of hepatitis E, and prevention involves ensuring the safe drinking water. Dear students, now we will briefly discuss the hepatitis C preventive measures. Generally, the hepatitis B and C preventive measures, they are similar. However, in case of hepatitis C, there is no vaccination for hepatitis C virus. So in case of hepatitis C, the risk of infection can be reduced by avoiding unnecessary and unsafe injections, avoiding the unsafe blood products and blood transfusions, avoiding the unsafe sharp waste collection and disposal, use of illicit drugs and sharing of injection equipment, unprotected, unprotected sex with hepatitis C infected people, avoid sharing of sharp personal items that may be contaminated with the infected blood, and tattooing, piercing, and acupuncture performed with contaminated equipment. All of these activities, they should be avoided. For people who are already infected with hepatitis C virus, World Health Organization recommends the following measures: education and counseling on options for care and treatment, immunization with hepatitis A virus and hepatitis B virus vaccines to prevent the co-infection from these hepatitis viruses, to protect the liver, early and appropriate medical management, including the antiviral therapy if appropriate, and regular monitoring for early diagnosis of chronic liver disease. Dear students, this is a table taken from your book. This table is describing the incubation period, route of infection, clinical signs and symptoms, and the main preventive and control measures of hepatitis A virus, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C. Kindly go through this table in detail. This concludes our today's lecture. Thank you very much.